What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another collaboration. That's right, with the highly anticipated Baby Driver coming up in just 2 short weeks, I figured I would count down my top 10 favorite action scenes in movies of all time. And I had to bring my good friend here, who's also a huge fan of action movies. Him and I have met through Masters of Movie Trivia on Sean Chandler's channel. I really like this guy a lot. I want to welcome Christopher Durbin from Durbania. Durbin, say what's up to my fans.
What's up? Thank you for having me on your channel. And I have to say, for my first time on your channel, you picked one of the hardest things for me to pick my top 10 of. Like, every time I look at my list, I'm second guessing myself.
Yeah, it's completely hard. There's so many great action scenes in movies, such as fight scenes, car chases. Anything action really is impossible to do. So,
yeah.
Guys, Durbin and I, we're going to first give you our honorable mentions and then go from 10 through 6. Since Durbin's the guest, he'll go first. He'll give his 10 through 6, then my 10 through 6, his 5 through 2, my 5 through 2, and then we'll both give our number ones.
All right, let's get into this. My honorable mentions are, my first one, this is going back in the day. My first honorable mention is Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. My favorite action scene in that as a child is where He-Man has been captured and stuff is going down and his sword is like locked in this weird little metal thing, and he goes to get his sword and Skeletor strikes him with lightning and it hurts his hand and he backs off. Then he goes and he grabs the sword again and he gets hit with lightning and it hurts and he backs off. But that third time, man, he grabs the hilt of that sword. Skeletor hits him with all the lightning he has and he just holds on to that sword for dear life, rips it out of that thing, sparks go flying and he screams, "I have the power!" Yeah, that has got to be one of my favorite action sequences as a kid. Another one of my favorite action sequences growing up as a kid was 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where you had the 4 turtles, that ending scene, and they're on the roof, and they are facing off the Shredder for the first time. Like, that to me was beyond awesome. Another honorable mention I have is Ip Man. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Oh, yeah, Donnie Yen, absolutely.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes in that is that final scene where he is fighting the bad guy at the very, very end of that movie. The fight scene between the two of them is just incredible. I love watching that guy fight. And then another honorable mention here, and this will be my last one, is the warehouse fight in Batman vs. Superman. That was one of my favorite on-screen Batman moments ever. In a movie that kind of disappointed me, but still had some really good parts in it. This was one of those really good parts that I really enjoyed.
I was so close to putting that scene on my list, Durbin. Sadly, it's not on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so let's get going to my honorable mentions now. I got 4, just like Durbin. Starting off, I have Logan versus X-24. This is spoilers, by the way. I'm sure you guys know that. Logan versus X-24 in Logan. I love every single moment that X-24, Wolverine's clone, is in this movie. Oh my god, the scenes between them are awesome. The night fight and then the final battle, so intense, so riveting. X-24 is by far Wolverine's biggest threat today. As you know, he kills him at the end. And Professor X, it's so damn brutal and so awesome to see that. Oh my god, I love it.
And when you factor in that's Hugh Jackman versus Hugh Jackman, the editing in that is so good.
I know, it really does look like it. At first I thought it was Sabretooth, but I love it. And then I got the John Wick nightclub scene, the first John Wick. This shootout is insane. How many bodies this guy killed is absolutely crazy. It reminded me of the first Collateral movie with Michael Mann and Tom Cruise. That whole entire 10-minute sequence of Keanu Reeves shooting up that place, it's so satisfying. And John Wick 2, that shootout scene almost made my list, but that nightclub scene, nothing could top that. The next honorable mention I have is Dom versus Hobbs in Fast 5. This fight scene's insane. Oh my god. Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel fighting each other. That's one of the best fight scenes I've seen in the 21st century. Fast 5 is definitely the best Fast and Furious movie, and that's by far the best scene in the entire film. And then my last honorable mention, I picked a comic book movie, which was almost BVS, but I chose Captain America versus the Winter Soldier in The Winter Soldier when they're first fighting in the highway.
Gosh, that's such a good fight.
Such a good fight. The hand-to-hand fight scenes were insane. Amazing choreography. I love Winter Soldier. That's one of my favorite fight scenes in the MCU. So, those are my honorable
You're already
mentions.
making me second-guess my entire list just by some of the scenes you're bringing up. Like, why isn't that in my list?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, really good scenes. All right, Durbin, let's throw it over to you, man. What are your 10 through 6?
All right, my 10 through 6 favorite action sequences. So, at my number 10, this one is kind of recent, but it's also controversial because it belongs to a certain lore and it's very divisive, but whatever. It's still one of my favorite action sequences. Man of Steel, Superman vs. Zod at the very end when they're fighting in Metropolis. I mean, whether you like the destruction of Metropolis in that scene or not, whether you like the fact that he kills Zod at the end of it or not, that is not even the point of what I'm bringing up here. If you just look at that sequence as an amazing action sequence between Superman and Zod beating the ever-living snot out of each other, the way that it's shot, the way that they use the CGI in it. And yeah, you could look at it and you could definitely tell certain scenes are very, very CGI, but whatever, that's the world we live in, and I still thought it looked great. So that is one of my favorite action sequences, Zod and Superman going head-to-head, man. That was awesome. My number 9 comes from The Matrix, and it's the I know Kung Fu scene when Neo and Morpheus fight each other. Like, there are a lot of great action sequences in the entire Matrix trilogy. A lot that could just take the cake, but there's something special about Neo and Morpheus fighting each other in that dojo. Neo trying to learn what rules he can break, what rules he can bend, trying to, you know, you're faster than this. Don't think you are. No, you are. I mean, just, I love that fight scene. It is forever bookmarked on my Blu-ray so that, like, every time I put it in, sometimes that's just the first scene I do, is I just go right to that scene and watch that fight scene. My number 8, Star Trek, Into Darkness, when the Enterprise is crashing. That was just an epic action sequence. I mean, you're just watching them try to move around as the ship is tumbling, and they're trying to, you know, stay on their own feet as the ship goes upside down or it goes sideways. They're just trying to get to the core there. They're trying to get that fixed. I mean, culminating in Kirk's sacrifice to, you know, put the core in alignment by going in that radiation-filled place and laying his life down. Like, the emotions in that scene are just absolutely incredible. The action sequence of the ship going down is just incredible. And I love that whole Enterprise crashing sequence in Star Trek. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I got number 7 here, getting into some of my favorite Kung Fu things. Fearless with Jet Li when he fights that wrestler dude. So, like, when he's been humbled, he's been through all that stuff that he's been... Have you seen Fearless?
Don't think I have. I've seen some Kung Fu movies like Karate Kid, but kind of the earlier Jet Li movies I still have yet to see, but I'm very curious to check it out.
Fearless is an absolutely fantastic movie. Like, I highly recommend that one. It is so good on so many levels. And so, like, when we get to this scene where he's fighting this wrestler in this ring, he's kind of just getting back into fighting. He's trying to establish a dojo where he can teach wushu, his form of kung fu, and things like that. And so he has been humbled. He's been through all this stuff, and now he goes to fight this wrestler. And this dude is like this American big wrestler guy. I mean, this is a big dude. And Jet Li just fights this dude and takes him out. It's awesome. It's just, I don't know what to say. It's just a great fight, and if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. And we're going to number 6, right?
Yes, number 6.
Okay, so here's my number 6. The other fight scene in Fearless, because that is such a fantastic movie. At the very end of this movie, and I won't spoil it for you, Ryan, because I know you haven't seen it. But
okay, don't.
what this movie builds up to, and depending on which cut you watch on the Blu-ray, sometimes it opens with this. So basically, once he's got his dojo established, he's teaching wushu, people don't like him. And so what they do is they challenge him to an unfair fight. They make him alone fight like 4 or 5 different people. One's a boxer, or one's a fencer, like all these different fighting styles. And what they're trying to do is wear him out. They're trying to make him tired so that he'll lose the fight and his reputation will kind of go down the drain. So that's kind of like their goal of that, and the whole everything is stacked against him, and it's like completely unfair. But he goes into this fight and he takes on each of these people, and it is absolutely incredible. From the attitude that he has, that he knows it's unfair, but he doesn't care. He likes to fight, so he's going to get in there, and he's going to fight, and he's going to do his best. On top of the fact, just the choreography. I mean, it's Jet Li. How are you going to go wrong with the fighting choreography?
Yeah,
so, like,
can't go wrong with Jet Li.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. There it is. There's my 6.
Awesome, man. I wanted to put Man of Steel. I was contemplating that scene. I really love that fight scene with Superman and Zod, but just a couple more that are more special to me in the heart.
I get that.
Those are some good picks, man. All right, so let's get going with my 10 through 6. So, at my number 10, this has got to be my favorite action movie of all time, or maybe second, but I chose the truck, motorcycle, and bike chase in Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah.
Such an awesome scene.
Oh, wow.
I love this scene right here. Yeah, this was probably my favorite scene in Terminator 2 in general. I just love this scene. It's so intense. The music's amazing. You got Edward Furlong on the bike. You got the T-1000 running full speed, throwing that truck driver out and stealing the truck. You got Arnie on the motorcycle. Oh my god, it's so riveting. The special effects are top-notch, especially with the T-1000 and the liquid metal coming out of the fire. It's an iconic scene.
Oh, yeah.
I love this action scene. It's riveting, intense. It has everything you want in an action sequence done right. So that's definitely my number 10. At my number 9, this is also an iconic scene from one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. That's the train scene in Spider-Man 2.
Yes!
Yeah!
That is a great scene.
Yeah. Really good scene. The train scene's iconic. It's one of my favorite action scenes in a comic book movie. You guys know how it all plays out. Doc Ock and Spider-Man on the train, fighting. Spider-Man stops the train with his poop face. It's an amazing scene. I really don't have to go in depth. You guys know this scene's awesome. So that's my number 9. At my number 8, I went back and forth between the train scene and the airport scene in Captain America Civil War. But that's at my number 8 spot. I picked the airport scene just because all my favorite characters are in this scene. You got Black Panther, Spider-Man, all the Avengers, Cap and Iron Man. I love all the jokes in the whole entire sequence. Ant-Man, I thought it was a water truck. And him turning into Giant Man. I was crying laughing in many parts of this fight scene. So that's why I kind of chose it at my number 8 spot. And then at my number 7 spot, you might be surprised to see this, Durbin. I put the church shootout scene in Kingsman: The Secret Service at my number 7.
I forgot about that scene. That is so epic.
It is so epic. I mean, where rarely do you see Colin Firth in a suit shooting out all these tired people? It's insane.
I didn't even see that scene coming. It just surprised me.
Yeah. Colin Firth in the suit shooting everybody up. Oh my god, it's so awesome. And yeah, it's kind of shaky cam, but Matthew Vaughn gets away with it here. I love that whole entire sequence. It's insane. I love it. And then at my number 6 spot is another iconic scene, and that's the parkour scene in Casino Royale.
Oh, yeah.
This scene is so awesome. James Bond going up, a construction zone, doing parkour, flips, fight scenes. I gotta rewatch this movie again leading up to the next Bond film. Yeah. I just remember watching this scene for the first time. I remember falling in love with Daniel Craig as James Bond because, yeah, he's my favorite because I grew up with him. I've still yet to see some other Sean Connery Bonds and Roger Moore Bonds, but Daniel Craig to me is the best James Bond because he portrays the character physically well, And also, he doesn't take crap from anybody.
Yeah.
And that's what I love.
That's actually my favorite Bond movie out of the Daniel Craig Bond movies, and that is a great scene. I knew you were going to make me second guess my stuff, man. Gosh, those are great scenes.
Yes, Skyfall's still my favorite Bond movie, but Casino Royale, it's 1 and 1.
Yeah. That's a great movie.
Yeah. So, that's my number 6. All right, Durbin, go with your 5 through 2, man.
5 through 2. Dude, you had so many great fight scenes in yours, and it's just like, dang it, I should have included a lot of those in mine. Okay. Yeah. My number 5 is Ip Man 2. I don't know if you saw Ip Man or Ip Man 2. Those are fantastic movies, by the way.
I've seen a lot of the fight scenes with Donnie Yen.
That dude is just awesome. But in Ip Man 2, there's this scene where, okay, so he moves, I think it's to Hong Kong, don't quote me on that, because it's been a little while since I've seen the movies, but he moves to a new city, and he's setting up his own dojo, but none of the masters there respect him, because he hasn't proven himself to them. So they're in this room, and, they're about to, excommunicate him from being able to teach Kung Fu, and so they all challenge him to fight them. So he takes on each and every single master standing on just one circular table. And so he can't go off the table, they can't go off the table. Whoever falls off the table loses, and then the table's like unbalanced, so it's like shaking and moving around with every single fight. The scene is incredible. I love that scene. I love Kung Fu movies, by the way, so that's why you see a lot of these.
I can tell.
Yeah, a lot of these are, I love martial arts, and those just turn out to be some of my favorite fighting scenes. So then number 4, my number 4 is something you already talked about in your honorable mentions. It is the John Wick club scene. And there are so many great scenes in John Wick, and I've only seen John Wick 2 twice. I just got it on Blu-ray. I just haven't had the chance to go back and watch it yet.
I have it behind me.
And I bet you if I go back and watch it, I'm gonna kick myself because it's like, dang it, I should have included that in my scenes. It's just been a while since I've seen John Wick 2. But John Wick 1, that club scene where he's going after that Russian guy's son, it is incredible. Yeah. And I think what makes the fight so much more incredible is the way this movie sets you up that, John Wick's wife is dead, so you're already feeling that. John Wick gets a puppy from his wife mailed to him. Then the Russian dude's son...
You kill a puppy, you... Sorry to interrupt, but if you kill a puppy, you've gone too wrong.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Killing the puppy is just a bad offense on its own, but knowing the emotional ties to the puppy... So the movie sets you up to be completely satisfied by this no-nonsense, I'm going to take you all out and dismantle your entire organization stuff. I mean, when he just goes at it, man, there is a satisfaction to the action in John Wick that is, hard-pressed to find in other movies. Like, this movie sets you up to be satisfied by what this guy's doing. I love that scene where he's just dropping all those guys like flies. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
My number 3 is also a scene that you recently talked about, is Captain America Civil War, the airport fight. Because for all the things you already said. It has the humor, it is action-packed, and it's all the superheroes fighting each other. What more can you ask for?
Exactly.
And then my number 2 is going to go back to Kung Fu movies. Ip Man 1. There's this scene where Ip Man there's like this underground fight club. The Japanese have occupied this city that Ip Man lives in, and they're oppressed. They're working tirelessly for food. Ip Man, seriously, in the scene, has one potato. And that one potato is for him, his wife, and his kid. So that's what that one potato is for. So that's how kind of starved and oppressed these people are in this scene. And so he discovers this underground fight club run by the Japanese and their type of martial arts, and one of his friends gets killed. So, this whole thing is unfair. So what does he do? He volunteers to fight next. He sets down a potato, and he says, I want to fight 10. And so 10 men come to fight. And a lot of the problem with martial arts movies is, 9 will sit back and watch while 1 fights, and then, they'll do a 1-at-a-time fight. There's a little bit of that in this fight, but mostly all 10 of these guys go at Ip Man at the same time, and he freaking knocks them out one by one. He doesn't knock them out. No. He kills them. He kills them. Yeah. It's brutal. The scene is brutal to watch. He's breaking bones. He's bending knees and arms in ways that shouldn't be bent. It's... Okay, there it is.
Awesome. Yeah, that's some good scenes in there, Durbin. So let's get through my 5 through 2 now. This was incredibly hard for me because all the scenes I have in my top 10 list are amazing to me. It's hard. I can't rank them. I just can't.
Yeah, the ones
But
you've already said are
my-
amazing to me, and I'm sad they're not ranked in mine.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. Okay, so at my number 5, I chose this scene because the way it was shot and the way it was directed and the way the lighting looks. I chose Bane versus Batman in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes! Yes!
Yes, I love this scene right here. This was a great introduction to Bane. Batman meeting Bane for the first time. You see Bane holding on his shoulders, walking out, and then Batman is just punching him, and he can't do anything, and Bane is beating the crap out of him. And then, of course, he breaks his back at the end. It's such a well-directed scene right there. I mean, just the punches, the lighting, everything. I felt Batman was scared for the first time.
It was incredible.
Physically, it's such an incredible scene. First time facing someone that's a bigger physical threat to him. I just love this scene right here from The Dark Knight Rises. So, my number 4, you did mention something from The Matrix earlier, Durbin. I chose the final fight, Neo versus Agent Smith in The Matrix.
That is such a good fight. And I struggle between that and Kung Fu. I just picked the one that stood out to me the most, but that one is great.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys know Neo versus Agent Smith. This scene is awesome. The way it's shot, the way the choreography looks, you know, all the different types of fighting styles you see, like the fast punches, guys going at each other slow-mo, and then Agent Smith punching a wall. It's insane. I just love the way this whole entire scene was shot, the way Keanu Reeves and Hugo Weaving were fighting each other.
That Keanu Reeves moment where he does the... Yeah, it's just so awesome.
Yeah. The one-liners from Keanu Reeves, just everything about that scene just speaks awesomeness. And it kind of makes me mad that so many movies today are trying to rip off the Matrix's style.
Oh my god.
Which does not work. Yeah, that whole entire sequence right here, it's so awesome. So, my number 3 is another iconic action-adventure movie from one of my favorite movie heroes, Indiana Jones.
Whoa.
And that's the dun, 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 dun. Yes. That's the truck chase from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my favorite adventure movies and Spielberg movies of all time. This scene right here, my favorite is absolutely the truck chase, where you got the Nazis with the Ark of the Covenant and Indiana Jones is fighting these dudes. He gets on the truck, he punches a Nazi. No, a Nazi punches him in the face out in front of the truck. He's hanging on to the truck, and then he goes under the truck and into the back and back to the driver, punches the dude, throws him out the window. It's so amazing. It's so good, Durbin, because of John Williams' amazing score.
Oh, gosh.
The intensity of it, the camera work, everything about that scene speaks awesomeness.
Yep.
So, you got to put the truck chase in there, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And now this is where our video goes completely downhill, trying to talk about our 2 and 1. Because 2, you got to pick something great.
Yep.
My number 2, I picked from a most recent action movie, and that is the Sandstorm chase in Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That scene. Yeah. What a day! What a lovely day!
Yes.
I chose this. I chose the sandstorm chase because the cinematography when they're getting into the sandstorm, the lightning, the tornadoes, it's so great. The riveting car chases right here. One car goes right into the tornado, it explodes, and you see like dead bodies flying everywhere. It's so good. I love that scene.
That is a good movie. I was surprised by that movie. I've seen the originals in bits and pieces growing up, so I had no idea what to expect from this one. This one surprised me. Like, it was a good movie.
And Junkie XL's score is so great.
Yeah. And then scenes like where they would be fighting and having chases, and instead of in slow-mo, they put it in fast-mo. Like, that was interesting. Like, that was really cool.
Okay, Durbin, this is where it gets intense. Our number ones. Durbin, what's your number one?
Oh, man. Okay, my number one, this was really, really hard. And so I was definitely going to go for my number one of something that's very nostalgic to me. And I had so many things to choose from. I mean, you have the iconic Star Wars Episode 5, Luke gets his hand cut off scene. I mean, just that whole entire lightsaber fight between him and Vader. So that was a contender. The other contender I had for my number one was also Star Wars. Return of the Jedi, where, sister, so you have a twin sister. Now she will join me too. And the fury of Luke, and when they have that lightsaber fight right there, the way the score just swells and they fight back and forth, like, it was just incredible. So that was a huge contender for my number one spot. So the one I actually picked for my number one spot, I picked it because of pure nostalgia. Because growing up, this was a character I loved. This was a character I connected to. And when this scene happened, man, to this day, it is one of my favorite action sequences in a movie. And here's the kicker. You already talked about this one. Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that entire truck sequence, man. That one goes up my number one because just as a kid growing up, Indiana Jones was such an amazing character to me. I loved that dude. I wanted to be Indiana Jones. And watching him, like, get knocked out of the truck, go under the truck, come over the truck, come around the side and throw the guy out. Holy cow, man!
Oh my god, that's an action scene. Yeah.
Yes! So, like, because of pure nostalgia and childhood joy with Indiana Jones, I put that as my number one. I love that sequence.
I love it too, man. It's so good. It's so iconic. You can't top that.
Yeah, it's just, it's just great. It's so great.
I wonder if they were searching for the Holy Grail.
No. That was not the Holy Grail movie. That was not that movie.
That's the third one.
Yes.
Hey, that's such a good pick, Durbin. I love that entire scene. But my number one, this is an action scene I loved ever since I saw, like, last year. I love this action movie. I love a fight scene that's intense, riveting, well choreographed, and just makes you feel the punches. I like an action scene that makes you feel every single punch that's coming at the characters' faces. And my number one is I chose the fight scene between Jason Bourne and Dash in the Bourne Ultimatum.
Oh, yeah. Wait, did I see that one?
The Bourne Ultimatum? This is the third one.
Oh, yeah. Well, I might have seen that one. Describe to me the fight scene.
Okay, in this scene right here, it's all about the camera angles. I mean, in the Bourne Ultimatum, Jason Bourne is hunting down this other hitman named Dash. He bursts through a window, jumps through it. They're just fighting each other, like punching each other and all that. And Jason Bourne hits him with a book 3 times in a row. Just the punches in that fight scene, you feel them. They're just like, psh, psh, psh. And then, yeah, everyone describes the Bourne series of having shaky cam insaneness, but Paul Greengrass is the only director that does shaky cam right. The way this entire scene is shot and edited and choreographed, it's just amazing. The choreography, and then Jason Bourne kills him by choking him to death. Oh my god. It felt real. Like, the sound effects in that action scene, the choreography, it's so good. You have to, if you haven't seen the Bourne Ultimatum, Durbin, it's by far the best Bourne movie to date. The action in that movie is absolutely crazy, and that scene is by far the best scene in the entire Bourne series, and one of the best action scenes of all time.
Wow.
So yeah,
I don't think I saw Ultimatum, but you have now given me good cause to go check out Bourne Ultimatum.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's an amazing film. And that's it, guys. That's Durbin and I's top 10 favorite action scenes of all time. Let us know what your guys' lists are. What are your top 10 favorite action scenes of all time? Are there some action scenes that we left off our list? Do you agree with our list, or you think we're crazy that we're leaving off some other amazing scenes on there? Let us know your guys' list down below. Durbin, man, thank you so much for joining me in this collaboration. It was insane. I can't wait to spoiler talk Baby Driver coming up. And Durbin, I want to give you the opportunity to tell my subscribers where we can find you on all your social media.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can find me on YouTube, Durbania. Just type that into the search. I should be the one and only channel that pops up because I think I'm the one and only channel with that name. I do things similar to Ryan. I got movie reviews, both spoiler-free and spoiler talk, so I do those. I got trailer reactions. I got ranking videos. I have this segment I call a theological analysis where I really, dig deep into movies and analyze their plots and find hidden meanings and pictures and things like that. So, I do all kinds of little fun things like that on my channel. It's a lot of fun. I'd love to have you come by, check it out, become a Durbanian, all that fun stuff. Plus, you can find me on Twitter at World of Durbania and search Durbania on Facebook. You'll find me.
Yes, guys, you absolutely need to go over and subscribe to Durbin. He's got a great channel over there. Does a lot of great content in movie reviews. And don't forget, check out on Durbin's channel. In a few weeks, we're going to be doing a spoiler review for Edgar Wright's Baby Driver, where we talk about the spoilers.
Yeah! I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you guys, as always, for watching this collaboration. And if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!